Hello. Good morning. Happy Friday, the week before Halloween, Friday, October 24th. I love that Halloween is on a Friday this year. Not that I'm going out trick-or-treating. Welcome to another episode of the TMI show, the Ted Manila Information Show. Ted Rall, just fresh off of D program, grabbing another cup of coffee, and personally, I think going to the loo. But he'll be joining us in just a second. So, of course, we do this live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. So please be sure to hit the like, the subscribe, the follow, and the share button. Please share the program because it is sharing the love and it really helps our little show continue to grow. And we're finally able to pay the bills, which is a big deal. Right, Robbie?
Yeah, it helps. It really
we're starting to be
does.
able to pay the bills. So that's yay.
It's been a year in. TMI is a little over a year old now, and we are finally actually starting to make some shekels, which is quite nice. And on a personal note,
anti-Semitism, pro-Semitism,
pro-shekelism.
I really don't care at this point. I do not care. On a personal note, my little gaming channel has reached almost 1,000 followers. And so I was able to hit all my metrics early on this month. And so I just, for those of you who, even if y'all aren't gamers, you pop by Putin Bot Gaming, I appreciate it. I'm glad y'all pop over and chat and stuff. And hey, listen, I will talk politics anywhere. I do not care.
And, you guys probably guessed that. In fact, I'm going to keep Robbie on for this first segment because, I mean, so today's show, let me just like preface all of this. It's not real news, but it's kind of it's stuff that you'll talk about. It's some news. It'll be your Friday funnies and spooky stories. And the first one, Rob, because you guys know Robbie is
pre-Halloween. Yeah, why are we doing Halloween a week early?
Because we get 2 Halloween shows. Because I love Halloween and I love spooky, the occult, the weird, like, that sort of thing. And you only get to do it once a year. So, because the rest of the year, I pretty much put away all of my, not my tinfoil hat stuff, but like the creepies. I put all of that away all year. I keep it under the hat. So give a lady a chance here to stretch out the spooky cobwebs and dust off the cobweb arms and get spooky out there. Because there are people that like that, Robbie. There are people like, if you look at all the channels, there are channels that are dedicated to like this ghost stuff and all this, the occult. They get millions and millions of viewers. Like,
well, why the fuck are we not doing that just all the time?
Because we're not ghost hunters and we're not, but those people really get like millions of views. Like it's a thing. Just when we said Legos are a thing, this is a thing.
I'm actually working on putting together a little thing over on the little blog that I write, talking about demons and the different kind of demons that the Bible talks about and stuff.
Wow,
succubuses and incubuses and stuff like that.
Well, no, like I'm actually doing a deep dive into Apollyon. So there's a debate among Christians. So there's an angel in the book of Revelation. He's called Apollyon. And Apollyon, he is the one who actually cast Satan into the bottomless pit. Like he's a big dude, and so
I thought
but there's a debate though.
Michael did that.
Well, Michael is a warrior angel, and Gabriel is a messenger. But Apollyon, though, he seems to be the one with the key to the bottomless pit. Which, in my opinion, if you are the warden of hell, you're probably the biggest, baddest angel that's out there. And a lot of people really don't understand this. And a lot of it has to do with just the milquetoast reality of the Christianity is now is that they don't teach, and by them I mean preachers don't teach the meatier parts of the Bible. They teach hippie Jesus, which isn't a thing. Jesus flipped. He made whips and he wasn't a hippie.
Oh, so you're saying like they don't teach all the gore and the nasty.
No, they teach the love part, but not
the shit.
They teach the love part, but not the justice part, because God is a God of justice, and so
that's what you're going to write about.
Well, I think the Old Testament God is a God of justice.
Yes.
Oh, the New Testament God. Have you read Revelation?
I have.
So,
That's just basically for people who, like me, who don't want to do drugs, and that way you don't have to.
Okay, so that's what
Revelations
Robbie's going to
is
write about.
freaky.
yeah.
But our first topic, Robbie, I know for a fact because Robbie had to school me on some of this because I don't know why. Robbie just knows a bunch of random history and he reads about all of this stuff. And I'd heard this before. Our first topic is that supposedly, and now I've checked and it's true, King Charles, thereby Queen Elizabeth, are descendants of Dracula, Vlad the Impaler of Romania. And I'd heard that, and I did a little research yesterday, and I went, oh, it's true. And that the controversy last year, and that this is just one of our spooky, scary stories. The controversy about it came up last year when King Charles, after his coronation and stuff, he unveiled his, we have like presidential portraits. He unveiled his royal portrait, I guess. And it was like all smeared in what people were calling like smeared in blood. And then people started talking about how the royals are related to Dracula. So Robbie knows about that. So we're gonna get to that. And before we do, Robbie, do we have an ad we have to get to early or?
Let me take a look here and see. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, actually, yes, we do. Let me
we
go through the smorgasbord here. What do we want to do? What is
matchy with our?
We choose the ones that pay the. Do you choose the ones that pay the most, or do you choose the ones that are different from usual or unusual or fit into our message? Or
I do a little bit of both. It looks like this time it's going to be $17.75 coffee. It's early in the morning. I need more coffee, and it pays the most. So that's what we're going to go with. So thank you, Rumble, for making it easy.
The most is where I stand.
Still haven't tried $17.75 coffee. Now's your shot. The $17.75 starter kit just dropped, only 1,000 units. You're getting the bold, dark roast that hits hard, the smooth, medium roast, and the Vitality Mushroom coffee for clean energy and laser focus, no crash. All single origin, small batch, toxin-free and mold-free. Plus, you're also getting a gold spoon clip because freedom isn't scooped with plastic, a frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's opinions, and a black $17.75 tumbler. $170 worth of coffee and gear. Yours were $99. This is for the ones who've been watching $17.75 blow up on Rumble. One of it's actually worth it. Spoiler, it is. I can test that. I've had it. It's good coffee. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. Bold beans, a clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something just like Rumble does. And that being said, Rumble really is the secret to our success. If we were just living off of ad revenue, we would be completely screwed.
Toast. So we do really owe a big debt of gratitude to Rumble. All right, let's hit the jaws and talk about Dracula.
Who's reading?
All right. This is going to be me. So King Charles, as I already kind of alluded to, is in fact a descendant of Vlad the Impaler, aka Dracula. Vlad III, known as Vlad the Impaler, or I guess this is a Romanian word, Voivod Vlad Dracula, was born in Wallachia, modern day Romania, sometime between 1428 and 1431, and he died either in 1476 or 1477. He was the son of Prince Vlad II Dracul. Dracula means son of Dracul, son of the dragon, as King Sigismund of Hungary had knighted and inducted Vlad the Elder into the Order of the Dragon.
How come I'm not in the Order of the Dragon? I want to be.
These are really. It sounds
that's
really
a cool
cool,
thing
right?
to be part of, right?
Right?
Like, I mean, it's
Order
better than the
Dragon.
Kiwanis.
We had a little chapter of that in high school, I believe. So Dracula's childhood was difficult as the Ottoman Empire kidnapped him and his brother to guarantee his father's loyalty. When Hungary invaded Wallachia, His father and older brother died at the hands of Wallachian boyars, which is nobles, I guess. So this prompted Dracula to return to Wallachia, the first of many campaigns to reconquer his father's principality. So Dracula would go on to fight and punish the boyars for their rebellion, but also the Ottomans, to whom his younger brother had remained loyal. So this is like internal strife, Ted, like within brother versus brother, like the Civil War.
That's very Middle Ages. That's how it was.
Is it a common thing? Well, and he was loyal to the Ottomans and the Hungarians. So assailed from all directions, Vlad III chose unqualified violence and became famous for it. Besides poisoning wells and sending people infected with the plague among his enemies, he is most known for impaling anyone who stood against his authority, which is how he earned the Impaler nickname. I mean, that makes sense. Once to deter the Ottoman Sultan Mehmet, Dracula left a battlefield, but not without having all dead bodies skewered, turning the field into the forest of the impaled. Some 20,000 bodies held up on spears. The prince's cruelty became the topic of books and pamphlets. I mean, pamphlets, Ted. I mean, you know you've made it when there are pamphlets about you.
Well, I mean,
in Germany.
This is the early age of movable type, right? This is the early of the printing press.
He was in a pamphlet.
Yeah, so political propaganda started out early.
Yes. So this helped create the legend. And here's King Charles's ancestry. So in 2011, a documentary about the Carpathian Mountains, King Charles, who then the Prince of Wales, boasted about his notorious ancestor. Quote, "The genealogy shows I am descended from Vlad the Impaler, so I do have a bit of stake in the country." That was his. I mean, that's not bad, Charles. That's not
that's pretty funny. Yeah,
that's not. I did not see that one coming from King Charles. So using genealogy websites and other documents, Snopes. I just happen to be reading from Snopes. Snopes double checked on all of this and confirmed that he descended from the cruel 15th century ruler through his maternal great grandmother, Mary of Teck, queen consort, wife of King George V. Mary's father was a German duke. It's from this branch of the family where they were able to trace her roots to the violent Prince of Wallachia.
So Charles's mother is, of course, Queen Elizabeth II, yes. and his grandfather would have been George VI. Is that correct?
I don't remember her dad's name.
It's not Edward. Anyway,
Mary of Teck, queen consort, wife of King George V. So Mary's father was a German duke, and it's from that branch that they traced his blood, and they first found Mary's family tree on the website of the self-proclaimed royal watcher site in California. And then they did other research, and starting with that, if you start with Mary of Teck and go backwards through her father, that's how he's tied to Vlad Dracula. And so, Robbie, fill us in about Vlad the Impaler and why the myth around him. And obviously, Charles is no Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah, no. So, just a couple things. One, the Ottomans did not kidnap Vlad. He was sent as a hostage, him and his brother, to Constantinople. Now, when the article talks about Germans, it's not being it's being really kind of disingenuous, because everyone talks about
a little bit, right?
Very much so, because everyone talks about you're about to get an education, and YouTube, do not flag this for anti-Semitism. This is historical fact. So there was the nobles in Wallachia, they're called boyars. They were from, at the time, what was called the Holy Roman Empire. There was no Germany. The boyars were Jewish merchants and bankers. Little known fact: the Boyars are Mehmet, the Sultan that Vlad fought, was the one who conquered Constantinople using money that the Jews gave him to buy and make the cannons that they used to take down the Theodosian walls. So when Constantinople fell, it was literally because of Jewish finance. They allowed the Ottomans to buy the cannons in 1453. So it's only like 20 years before Vlad comes onto the scene. So the Ottomans go north. And another little known fact, that the Ottomans had this elite military brigade that they called Janissaries. It was called the blood tax. They would take the firstborn son of Christian families, castrate them, make them into eunuchs, and then force them to convert to Islam. And they were the most fanatic of the Islamic soldiers. I mean, they were like the Navy SEALs of their day. I mean, they were bad. When Constantinople fell, there was no longer any force in the Balkans that could stop the Islamic advance. So they got to the Danube. So it's literally Mother Nature to stop them. Vlad's father was the first one was able to put up some kind of a defense to keep them out. The problem is politicians do want that sweet, sweet lucre. So the bankers wanted the voyars wanted the trade in the Ottoman Empire. So they were always bribing nobles to
bribery in politics going back to 1400.
It's the first time that's ever happened. And
my goodness.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so that's where this all happened. So Vlad, he was sent to Constantinople. His brother converted to Islam. Vlad never did. And instead, Vlad, he ended up developing this intense hatred, not only of the Turks, but also of the boyars, because he looked at them as being the enemy within. Like they were the ones who literally brought about the fall of Rome. And it was what allowed the Islamic hordes to march as far north as they did. So when he took power, he did arguably the first pogrom. Like he went ham on the boyars. He sent them back to Germany. The ones that didn't leave, he impaled them because he considered them as being traitors. Because, well, what's the word? They were. And so he was a military mastermind of the highest order. One of the most amazing military battles I encourage y'all to read about is what's called the night attack. He crossed the Danube, he being Vlad, attacked the Ottomans at night, which is something you never did back then because there's no way to control your army. You couldn't if it was dark. They didn't have night vision weapons back then. He captured Mehmet's tent, took his harem. If the Sultan would have been there, he would have staked his ass too, but the Sultan wasn't there. He was off doing something else. And then when they escaped, what he did is that he had the horseshoes on his horses nailed on backwards. So it looked like they were going the wrong way. So the Turks went into this valley and Vlad wiped them out and he impaled them. And that's why I say good fences make good neighbors. That intimidated the Turks to such an extent that Mehmet he lost all appetite of trying to go into Wallachia. So doing what politicians do, he once again went to the boyars, got them to bribe his brother into betraying Vlad, and he was captured, sent to Constantinople, and executed. So bankers, never trust bankers. That's the moral of the story. But honestly, though, that's
King Charles is, so
but when it comes to blood libels and stuff that the ADL is always coming about, that's the genesis of it. It's because the Jewish boyars betrayed the Christians, and that's why, like, for the next 400 years, that you just had this constant that really up to the Great Turkish War between the Ottoman Empire and the Russians. That's why it was just such a constant battleground there. Because when Constantinople fell, there was nothing else that could stop the Muslims from marching into Central Europe.
That's a creepy background, I guess.
Vlad was badass. He's one of my favorite military. He's one of my favorite military.
Knowing that, like, that's
histories.
I don't know. Like, just how would you feel if you knew that I don't know. I haven't really thought about it, but like if your great grandfather, I don't know, 10x back was known as Dracula, Vlad the Impaler. Like, I haven't put much thought into it, but I feel like it's like,
what is I'm not clear on exactly how Dracula, the mythology of the vampire,
Right. I don't get that
gets
part.
mixed into all this.
I can answer that for you too, because you got to keep in mind, back then, the printing press, like Ted, how you had just talked about, was very expensive. No type was brand spanking new, and so the boyars, after Vlad expelled them from Wallachia, they started doing these old wood engravings, and they showed Vlad eating his meals among the impaled Ottoman soldiers. And one of the reasons why they did that, though, is because they were trying to. You got to remember that the Great Schism already happened. Vlad needed the support of the Pope in the Christian West if he was going to be able to defeat the Turks. He just didn't have the men for it. Well, the boyars, that's the last thing they wanted, because they looked at Vlad as an avowed enemy. So they started doing like those little prints that you've seen of Vlad sitting at a table eating among the corpses. That never happened. But that's the propaganda that the boyars sent to try to undermine Vlad from getting any kind of support.
Where's the teeth and the pointy ears and vampire bats and
Bram Stoker
and silver?
That comes from Bram Stoker. That comes from Bram Stoker. That was
so much
him
later in the modern era.
Yeah, so that was him merging the vampire myth into one of the. Vlad is subjective, right? If you're of Jewish descent, he's like the original Hitler. But if you are a Romanian nationalist, he's a hero. And so it's just kind of like here in the United States, is Robert E. Lee a hero or a villain? It depends on where you're from and your point of view.
I see. So really, it had nothing to do with the real story. Is there's nothing to do with blood sucking. There's nothing to do with bats or nothing to do with that.
No, and Vlad
there is lore though from Romania. Of there being a vampirism being a thing from Central Europe.
Oh, yeah.
But not Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah, not Vlad.
So Bram Stoker sort of
he merged the two. Yeah, right. He merged it.
Okay.
And like
so it's a mashup.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Because he wanted to take someone who's a controversial figure in the East. Because you got to remember when Bram Stoker, when he wrote his novel, the Ottoman Empire was still a thing, and so he was going along that. A lot of people don't realize this. The whole reason why the Western European kingdoms started trying to find a way to get to India to trade, find an alternative to the Silk Road, was because the Ottoman Empire was getting rich off of that trade, and they'd already sieged Vienna for the first time before Columbus had gone. And Constantinople had been sacked and had been conquered. And the last thing that the Christian West wanted to do was trade with a mortal foe. So that's the whole reason why they started going west, trying to find a way, because they thought that the world was either if it was flat, they're going to fall off and going to die. But if it was round, well, it would be logical that you just sail around and then just end up in India. So that's the whole reason why Columbus even got his commission.
So there you go. There's Vlad the Impaler has nothing to do with vampire bats, but it is true that the royal family is tied to so-called Dracula. There you go. Myth busted. Thank you, Robbie.
You're welcome.
Right. But it's fascinating.
It is fascinating history, right?
It is. What I like about all this is it's an excuse to learn about some cool, interesting stuff.
Yeah, and
pay attention to.
Yeah, why would you know, right? Like I always tied, Count Dracula as Vlad, and that this is all the same thing, and it's not. There you go.
Nope.
You got this next one. It's a funny one, and let this be a message to all husbands.
This one I have some things to say about. A Turkish court has ordered a man to pay his ex-wife compensation for material and moral damages because he saved her number as Chubby in his phone's contact list. Old Chubby. Spouses often come up with nicknames for each other, some endearing, others chubby, but rarely do these end up as a reason for divorce. Exceptions do occur, as was the case with the Turkish couple who broke up over how the husband had his wife's name saved in his phone. The course of cassation ruled that, which is basically divorce, ruled that the woman should be compensated for being saved as Tombek which is Turkish for Chubby. The nickname came to light during court proceedings as the couple went through their divorce, and the woman claimed that the derogatory nickname was degrading and damaging to their marital relationship. According to the Turkish news outlet Haberler, the court found the husband guilty for registering his wife as Chubby in the divorce case in the city of Uşak and ordered him to pay his former spouse financial compensation. I don't know how much she got for being called Chubby. The decision now constitutes legal precedent, so Turkish husbands should think twice about saving their spouses by their nicknames or about what their nicknames are. I mean, if their nickname is Tasty Treat, would that be a problem? The Court of Cassation's ruling in this unusual divorce case has sparked a heated social media debate, with some saying, yay, and others saying that Chubby may have just been an endearing nickname. Being chubby isn't bad, and to be called chubby isn't an insult. It's cute, one person commented. Probably the husband didn't mean it maliciously. I hope the wife didn't take it so. I'm sorry such small things can send people, even a family member, to jail, apparently. I think it's hard to imagine in our culture. I agree there's nothing wrong with being chubby, and I don't think there's anything wrong with being called chubby or being chubby.
Yeah.
But I think in most cultures which are so skinny centric, especially because of the fashion industry, that it's probably very few people are going to take that kindly, Manila.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this. Well, first, going from talking about the Ottoman Empire in the first segment, right? How far the mighty have fallen. How far the mighty have fallen, Ted. They went from the mighty Ottoman Empire to, well, chubby. You have called your wife fat. You call her chubby, you pay her.
Chubby's on the way to fat.
You call her chubby, you will pay.
Chubby's on the way to fat. You're not fat when you're chubby.
Chubby's on the borderline.
Pre-fat. Like it's like being pre-diabetic. You're not really diabetic. You know.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, so in Lao, for example, the nickname Tui, it when it's a nickname and it's given to you, like I have a girlfriend. She's Lao. Her husband is white American, and his nickname is Tui, and he's a big man. He's like 6'5", big man, right? And
does it mean tasty treat?
He's big. He's a big boy. Big guy. She calls him Tui. That means chunky or chubby. Like
not tasty
and
treat.
This is applicable to men, to women, to little girls, little boys. My dog, it's an endearing thing. So I get it. We're not, at least in the Lao culture, it depends on the tone and the context. But if you're like a loving wife and you call your husband Aitui, which is Mr. Chubby or Mr. Chubbs, she's not degrading him. She's calling him an endearing nickname. Like it's a cute thing. Like, but you can also.
I think that's for him. I think that's for the victim to decide. Right?
And I don't know if it's victim. Like, so I don't know. I think this is an egregious case of an angry ex-wife. And Ted, you know about angry ex-wives.
I've read about such things. Yeah.
And I think this is just an egregious case, as egregious as like in South Korea, the South Korean man a couple of years ago, he got married, he had a kid, and this is awful of him. God awful of this Korean man. I guess their little baby girl, as she got a little older and saw what she looked like and realized the little girl was ugly. Horrible man. He started looking into like, how can this be? I'm handsome. My wife is beautiful. Why is this little girl ugly? And in the Korean courts, so they find out.
Was the best friend ugly?
No. So they find out the wife had all kinds of plastic surgery. So she wasn't naturally pretty. And he took her to court, divorced her. He sued her.
For aesthetic fraud.
For fraud. Ooh. For marital fraud. The courts in South Korea sided with the husband. And the wife had to pay like restitution. They got a divorce, like all this stuff. Like it was like this crazy. I just couldn't believe this happened.
Wait,
right?
wait,
Like,
how come? No, you have to sympathize with the husband. Obviously, he's right.
So I think that's egregious. I think like you get what you get. Like he sued and said that she misrepresented herself.
You mean you get what you're not getting what you get if like
so if she didn't disclose that she was born ugly.
I mean, we talk too much about trans stuff on this show, but what happens if like, you know, you marry a hot chick and she turns out to be a crying game situation? Oh, you get what you get, and you know you just suck a penis. I mean, what do you mean? What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, you should have explored. Like,
we should have explored. These are Muslims. I'm like, if like you know, you're not supposed to fuck your wife before you get married. So you get in there, and she's like, she looks great, and it turns out she's all made up of like duct tape and she's made up of duct tape and baling wire, and like she's like basically she's not real.
That's different. If you find out that your wife is actually a dude, that's different. Yeah. That's not the case in Korea.
Why? What's the difference?
Because you married a
girl who was you married a girl who was cute. All right, here I got another one for you. What if you find out?
This Korean case.
What if you get married and you find out she has a fake leg? What if you find out she has a fake leg? After you, and she forgot to mention that to you before you got married. That's fraud.
I don't see how this Korean case, how the judge could side with the husband because the woman was born ugly and had work done and didn't disclose it. And it all came about because the little girl.
So are you saying that like, does it, it's not like, so in other words, she's not like when she takes off her face at night, she's ugly. Like, well, there are.
No, she had plastic surgery and she didn't disclose to her husband that she was born an uggo and spent hundreds of thousands of dollars.
That she wasn't naturally pretty. She was surgically pretty.
Right.
Yeah, that's tough. Okay,
Korea,
Manila.
But that's why I'm saying it's different. It's not crying game. It's not at all. She's just aesthetically changing what she is, but who she is, and he fell in love with her.
Yeah, that's not different really from like, let's say like she was born, you know, whatever. Let's just say she was like overweight and out of shape, and then she went to the gym and she like worked out and became
Mounjaro or Wegovy or whatever.
Right, whatever. She did shit, like, and now she's running like 20 miles a day, and she's all skinny and tight. That's like,
but she's.
I mean, it's the same thing,
fat.
Really. I mean,
like if you're somebody that's prone to being fat, but you keep it down, but because you work really hard at it, like how is that any different? You fall in love with the person. That's the whole idea. So unless this Korean man fell in love with,
that's obviously not the case here.
The aesthetic, well, then he get whatever. Like I sided with the woman in that case. Like I don't like that she hid from him, you know, that she had all this work done. And so in this case, though, with the Turkish couple, I side with the husband. Like it's just a nickname. Like people are so freaking sensitive. Like he married you anyway. Like, we don't know if she got chunky over the years or she was chunky to begin with or whatever, but it's not a bad thing.
Chubby.
And
we don't know that she was chunky. Chunky and chubby aren't really strictly speaking the same thing.
They're not interchangeable. They're interchangeable to me.
Really? I don't think that's true. I think chubby indicates sort of some round lumps, and chunky is more like sort of blocky.
I don't know.
Wouldn't you say?
For the audience, I think chubby, chunky, kind of same
I don't think that they're not like buzzard and vulture. They're not the same.
I don't know. I think chubby and to me they're interchangeable. But so in this case, I side with the Turkish husband. In South Korea, I side with the plastic surgery wife. Like, how can you sue?
Well, okay. Well, I have to fuss up here since you mentioned that I do know about angry ex-wives. So I don't really do this in general, but I don't really have like individual tones, ringtones for different people. The only person that I have that for is my kid. I have a very loud tone for him so that I know it's him, like, okay, alert,
right.
Like the kid needs money or he's in trouble or something. But I did have a special ringtone for my wife at the time, which it was the mosquito. Yeah. And, I think that's self-explanatory. She was always bugging me. So I had her. Frankly, I feel justified and validated in having done it that way.
But this is post-divorce, right? So
no, it was during late marriage. Let's put it that way. And so I it was like my little form. It was my form of rebellion. And she came to learn of this fact accidentally, and she was shockingly displeased about this. She's like, I can't believe you made me the mosquito. I'm like, you're the mosquito. So
at least you didn't make her the dog bark, right? Woof.
Well, actually, for a while, I did have her as the dog, and ultimately, I moved her when I thought she wasn't paying attention anymore. I made her the space alien.
I know the space alien. I have a weird family member assigned to that one. So when I hear the weird space sound, I'm like, oh my God, it's my cousin so and so. I'm like, I can't deal with her right now. I just can't. I can't deal with her right now. Can't do it.
Right.
Can't do it.
It's like a warning. Like, and I did, the barking dog was like a little too mean. Although frankly, completely appropriate and fully justified. But like, yeah, just like, it was just sort of like went too far.
So this is like, I feel like these cases that we're talking about here, I wish there was like an international divorce court channel. I would love.
You mean instead of the ICC, it's the International Divorce Court, the IDC, where Israelis would constantly still be getting a hard time there.
Because look, people in different countries divorce, as we've just discovered, divorce for the weirdest shit, and it's like not something you would probably hear about in the US.
On this case, this story is not 100% clear. Maybe I'm just stupid. On like whether this was part of her cause for divorce, or was this something
like they had it found in discovery? It sounds like, and then
so I'm wondering if this is just sort of like, this is something that had already happened, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Like in other words, I got the impression this was after the fact.
But the bottom line is the judge ruled in the favor of the sad wife for being called Chubby. Like, what are family court laws in different countries? I mean,
basically, it was like, this is insulting.
Whatever, it's different.
Yeah, you insulted her, and it demeaned her, and she was upset about it. She didn't like that you did.
So I guess in Turkish family court, that's something.
Well, I mean, I think obviously
who would have known?
He didn't mean it. He didn't mean it with kindness, right? I mean, obviously.
I don't know. It could be.
She's complaining about it. She's not. She's complaining.
She could just be saying it because they're already in court. She finds out in discovery that she's assigned in his phone as Chubby, and then she's just tacking on. She's like, I need more alimony. That asshole called me Chubby, telling her lawyer, go ask him for $2,000 more a month. Fuck that guy. Go ask him for more money.
That's true. That is entirely what could have happened.
So I just think it's funny to learn these tidbits of family law. Like we know Sharia law. If a wife cheats, we know what happens there, Ted.
Nothing good.
So, nothing good. So, when you find out about family law in different countries, I think it's kind of interesting. And in Turkey, this is going to be precedent setting that you better be nice to your.
Do you think the husband can appeal?
When you're going through, I don't know. I mean, family law in Turkey, go figure.
I bet they don't have as much of an. I bet they don't have as much of an appeals process in Turkey as we.
Yeah, probably not. But here. Ted, look, we know free speech is under attack. In the UK, you can't mean tweet, right? You'll go to jail for a month, 2 months, 3 months for mean tweets, right? I wonder if they will soon impose like a mean nickname saved on phone law. They're going to follow Turkey. You know what I mean? Like this.
Yeah. Sometimes there are sometimes international cases do become sometimes precedents in other countries.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's not impossible.
I think it opens it sets a bad precedent, opens a can of worms. I think your phone is your private property, and you should be able to assign ringtones. Well,
that's a good point. That's an excellent point, because that wasn't really like that's not a broad. That's a really, I think, should have been the defense, right? It's like
bad lawyer.
It's for personal use, right? It's like
it's my phone.
It's like. It's my phone. I can call anyone I want. Shitheel, fucktard, monster, whatever. Yeah. My fucking phone, so my rules. Like you can put
if I was the divorce attorney,
I guess also you could assign an image to someone in your phone, right?
Yeah. Like I said, I have, for certain family members.
Do you have like some unpleasant images for some people?
Who I love. I love my family members, but some of them are a lot.
Wait, do you have you're not answering my question. Do you have unpleasant images? Like what? Give me an example. And
like
okay, but images like where the picture where the picture comes up.
It's a bad picture.
You have to tell me, Manila, you have a thing, and I didn't put this in for you. When your phone rings, when you call me on your phone, there's like a little icon of you, and I don't even know how I get that.
Because Apple allows you to pick your own little, I don't know what they call them, a Bitmoji, an emoji, avatar. Yeah, that you can design your little person, your little caricature, and decide whether or not to share it with the public, with whoever you're calling, or not.
And and you do. It's cute. I mean,
and I just don't.
I was always like, but why is that happening? Because most people who call me don't have that. No. Mm-mm.
They're boring.
I was like, my friends are boring. Yeah.
Boring, Ted. Boring. Yeah. You can create, that's an Apple. It's only an Apple thing. I don't think it happens when you're talking to people on the phone that have
most
Android.
People I know. I mean, I run with a sophisticated crowd. Most people have Apple. They don't have some shitty Android.
Most people have. But then Ted, we're going to open a can of worms there, which we don't have time for. No, I don't. In the world, yes. In the world, most people have Androids because of the price.
Yeah. No, it's objectively. I mean, I fucked around with my friends' Android phones a few times, and
it's not bad.
I was like, they suck. The interface is annoying as shit. It's like doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
I don't know.
Like, not as
Droid
intuitive.
Users,
once you're used to the
Droid
Apple,
users are like hardcore, like really, really into their droids. And the vast majority of the world uses the Droid operating system because it's so much cheaper. And it's practically disposable. You can find like you can use a fully functional smartphone for like $100, right?
Yeah.
Versus like $1,500 for like
it's objectively the smart iPhone. Move. Yeah. And the iPhone I think the iPhone's getting to the point where I have to seriously consider ditching it, because I mean, the new ones are $2,000, Manila.
Oh my God.
Yeah. The 17 like plus fully loaded. Yeah. $2,000. I mean, it's fucking insane.
Can't you buy a full on, a MacBook for $2,000?
You could probably get a MacBook Air or something.
The Air is oh my God.
On the other hand, I will just say I've been like thinking about my desktop. I have a Mac Pro desktop, and I was curious. I was kind of like, oh, I hope I don't have to replace it anytime soon. And I'm very excited. Apparently, this thing was built to last 15 to 20 years, which for a Mac, I mean, is amazingly long.
Oh yeah, but now
it's an over $5,000 machine, so I'm glad that's going to last a while.
Well, God, I hope so, because everything is made nowadays for like planned obsolescence. So, I'm not into that. Everybody knows before I got this phone, I kept my iPhone 8 forever and ever and ever, and I was so pissed 2 years ago that I had to get a new one. And then Apple does that with iOS.
I have a 14
updates. The 15 Pro Max or 16. One of those, 15 or 16 Pro Max, the big one with the
I'm really pissed off, Manila. I don't want them. They keep making them bigger. I want them smaller. Look at what I dug up. This is my mom's flip phone from back in the day.
Wow.
I want this as a smartphone.
It can go in your pocket.
Yes.
Yeah, but how do you see anything in the screen? I used to have one of those.
With your fucking eyes.
But
I mean, like with the high
tiny.
resolution that we have now.
Well, yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Put on
but
Robbie.
That's because men keep it.
Put on Robbie. He has something to say.
Men have pockets and women have purses. So for us, it doesn't matter if it's like a big ass phone. We just like throw it in the purse. So
Ted, I'm going to do you a solid. So they have the folding flip phones are basically just like what you just now showed. Motorola makes them, and Google also makes one.
But they're not smartphones.
They are small. They are smartphones.
No, they are smartphones.
Oh, they are
smartphones. They are, and so you're able to fold them. And Google makes one. I don't remember what they call it, but so does Motorola. So if that's what you're looking for, you can 100% make that happen.
I want that. Yeah, I want a phone that goes into my fucking pocket, and that like when I'm sitting down, it's not like scrunching up against my right testicle.
Yeah, the next time that you come to Montana, get one, because that way you don't have to pay the sales tax.
No sales tax?
Montana is one of the only 5 states that does not have a sales tax.
Isn't Connecticut one of them?
I don't know. Well, but a lot of Californians, for example, will come here. They'll buy their cars here in Montana, or they'll incorporate here in Montana because of the tax advantages that Montana has.
No,
that's
kidding.
Cool. That's great.
Yeah.
Huh. The more you know. Well, there you go, Ted. So if you want like a smaller phone, Apple, they are doing that, and maybe we should do this episode with the youngins again, Robbie. But do you know that the youngins that are Robbie's kids' age, right? Like, and from Ted's kid down to Robbie's kids' age, who are in high school, the kids are going like low tech now. They're like deliberately disconnecting and using.
Yeah.
They're going back to like Polaroids and God bless Gen Z. Like seriously, they're the ones.
Gen Z. I'm on team Gen Z all the way. I love them. I have high hopes for them. I think they're great. Yeah, I mean, millennials, you guys can all commit. Millennials can commit group suicide. No, I'm kidding about that. But there's a few. Maybe some of you can be.
You're going to get sued for that, Ted. Yeah. You know, that little Japanese girl in the Midwest somewhere is now rotting in prison for telling her boyfriend.
Good point.
Stuck on a tailpipe.
Well, Thomas, he has a record player now. And I had to teach them they're called records. They're not called vinyls. So if you called it a vinyl,
kill me now.
I told him I told him I would 100% committed a hate crime by throwing him out of the second floor window if you called it a vinyl. So it's called a record.
Correct.
But this is the thing. See what I mean? They are ditching modern tech, and they're wanting that generation.
Although
is like wanting to go back outside, and
millennials like vinyl too.
Yeah, it's niche, right? It's really like a kitschy thing. But
it's not that niche though. It is literally. Do you know that? I mean, Manila, more vinyl records are sold in the United States now every year than were sold in 1990.
Weird.
Oh, let me tell you something else. How y'all talking about my kids? Let me tell you something, because Thomas told y'all about his anthropology teacher. Mm-hmm. And how this dude's just like a raging libtard, has the tranny flag, everything else. Well, Thomas and like half of his classmates, they've all bought Border Patrol agent hats. And they're all going to wear them to his class on the same day.
Oh, that's disgusting. I'm sorry.
They are going to their stated goal is to break this guy's brain.
Why not just go full on SS outfit? At least it's a better look.
Well, yeah, if I could get
at least it's Hugo Boss.
SS looked sharp.
Well, that's what I recommended. But the German teacher, they don't want to offend the German teacher because they're all learning German too. Oh my
God!
And so they're getting Border Patrol hats, and they're also getting ICE T-shirts, and that's what they're going to.
If they show up like that in New York City, they're going to have shit thrown at them in the streets.
Well, I'll give them this much. At least they've got a sense of humor, and because that was missing.
Taste might be MIA, but that's not.
That's
It's just never been a high thing for me either.
Okay.
So whatever.
All right.
So subjective.
We got to move on to the last couple of topics, the spookies. But thank you, Robbie. But now you know, if you want to go buy or incorporate, go sales tax free in Montana. I did not know that. How about that? All right. So this one, here's one. Because I want, this is on my watch list. This movie, the Annabelle, that's creepy doll movie, because they have a new one. It's out. So that's on my to watch list by next week. So, okay, ready? Dan Rivera, a 54-year-old, and by all accounts, from what I've seen, he looked, he wasn't fat, he wasn't out of shape, he was looked like a normal, healthy 50-something-year-old man. Dan Rivera, a 54-year-old paranormal investigator and Army veteran who was on tour in Gettysburg with the so-called Annabelle doll, was found dead in his hotel room this summer. Several stars from The Conjuring.
Wait, how come we're only learning about this now?
I guess the people are just starting to talk about it because the movie's out, and people are like, "Wait a minute,
okay.
Where's the guy that was traveling with the Annabelle doll? Dan Rivera's dead? What do you mean he's dead?" And so now people are talking about it. Okay. Not Dan. So I guess he was like a named person in that community, in the spooky paranormal world. So Dan Rivera drops dead in his hotel room this summer.
As one does.
And at 54, and people are only now learning about it because the movie is out, and people are like, well, where's Dan? So the Conjuring, the last rites are out, and people are speaking out about the Annabelle doll having been with him at the time of his sudden
Can you tell us what is the Annabelle doll?
Well, I'll get there. So Annabelle, if you watch the series, the Conjuring movies, Annabelle, she's featured prominently in those movies, is a real doll that is said to be possessed by a demonic entity. And Mr. Rivera Mr. Rivera was one of her handlers. So here's the context. So he dies this summer at Gettysburg in his hotel room. This is according to the New England Society for Psychic Research, or NESPR is their acronym, NESPR. One day prior to his death, he was hosting a showing of the real Annabelle doll during the tour called Devils on the Run tour. Now, Adams County coroner Francis Dutro said Annabelle was not actually in his hotel room when Mr. Rivera was discovered. Yeah, because she walked away. According to NESPR's website, Annabelle was given as a gift to a student in the 1960s, but almost immediately, she and her roommates, the student, noticed strange occurrences with the doll. Quote, they were introduced to a medium who told them the doll was inhabited by the spirit of a young girl named Annabelle. The two roommates tried to accept the doll's spirit and please it, only to have it reciprocate maliciousness and violent intent.
Who hasn't been in a relationship like that?
With a doll?
Well, I mean, just in generally, to be in a relationship where you try to please it and it only reciprocates with maliciousness.
And violence. So the late NESPR founders, Mr. Ed Warren, who was a demonologist, and his wife Lorraine, who was a trance medium. I guess this was a thing, right, in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, said the doll was demonically possessed, and they encased it in a glass box, and supposedly the glass box was had a
like a force field,
not a curse, not a curse, but they, not a bless. They didn't bless it, but they basically said some sort of, the lady was a medium. She put some sort of curse on the box to keep the demon possessed in the doll inside this encasement. So earlier this month, comedian Matt Rife revealed via TikTok that he had bought the home of Ed and Lorraine, the Mr. and Mrs. Warren's home, that is also home of the Occult Museum. Quote,
naturally.
He's a very funny man, but that is a very bold move. Somebody talking to Newsweek about this unique purchase, right? Most of the time, everything works out all right. But when you roll the dice with paranormal artifacts,
it's usually fine.
Things can go wrong when you least expect it. So be careful, man. For the next 5 years, I hope he's ready for anything, which is what town locals have told this comedian, Matt Rife.
Why 5 years? What happens? Are you free and clear after 6?
I don't know. I'm presuming that he can hang in. I don't know, that people never last 5 years. That's my guess. If the local townies are saying like, let's see how you do in the next 5 years, man. I'm presuming that's what it is that people that buy this house never stick around beyond 5 years because they can't tolerate the spooky, scary occurrences. And the Annabelle doll used to live there, but now I don't know where the Annabelle doll is because the handler, Mr. Rivera, Dan Rivera, died. So where's the doll?
Manila.
And the movie is out.
Annabelle is here with me now, and soon she will be with you. She will be with. She's now nesting with Clovis. They are working together in tandem.
Those look.
Manila. It is I, Annabelle. I am inside Ted.
I speak
through him.
That's the point. There are some creepy ass dolls out there, and sometimes, like, I would swear by it that
dolls are inherently creepy. I mean, creepy. I went to this. There was a display years and years ago, probably 30 years ago, at the Museum of the City of New York, which is one of the overlooked major museums in the city, but it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a city about the history and culture of New York City. It's recommended if you're here for, if you want to get beyond just going to the Met and the Natural History Museum. Highly recommended. Anyway, they had a display of Victorian dolls from New York City, from of course the 1800s, and they're all they're all like with the dead eyes. They're all like this, like. And it's like they're terrifying. They're and because the thing is, it's very uncanny valley because they're realistic enough to look creepy, but they're off. I mean, to look real, but they're off.
So let me ask you this, Ted. So now that we're well into the uncanny valley and this is off spooky, but if little Raggedy Ann type dolls like Annabelle can create, just from people looking at her, and look, I'm like the personification, I'm calling it a her, but I can look at it and be like, oh, that thing I don't like that thing, like for whatever reason, right? You don't like that thing. But now we have these sex dolls, right, that are like the real doll, right? Where the artistry to make a human face, the eyes look almost alive, almost like we're well into the uncanny valley, and the valley's much bigger than I knew. How long before we find out that one of these freaky, scary sex dolls is like inhabited by like an angry hooker from the 1950s, right? That was killed in a San Francisco alley. Like, I'm just saying. And there's going to be some pervy rich dude, because these dolls cost like $10,000. There's going to be some pervy rich dude trying to bang that doll.
She's saying like a Black Dahlia type situation.
Yeah, like that's what I'm waiting for, is like Revenge of the Dolls. Like, and
Revenge of the Slut Dolls?
Yeah, like, but I personally, and I've done stories about this, like as a reporter, I've seen these dolls. Like they're creepy. Have you ever looked at these? Like I've seen them in person. Like they're, if it was sitting in a room with me.
Were they being utilized at the time that you saw?
No. Like they're on display. Like
no judging.
vendor. at a vendor event, and so it's like bright lights, and it's a vendor thing, right? So, but I
have not ever. No, I've only seen them on TV.
You've never seen one?
No.
So when you're actually looking at it, and this is like
I'm saving up for one, then I got laid off from Sputnik.
They've come even further from in the past 10 years since I've been physically in front of one.
No pun intended.
But even 10 years ago, how almost realistic it looked. I was just thinking, like, looking at it going, if this was like, if I walked into a house and I saw that there, like, I feel like this thing would wake up and like try to stab me or something. Like that, it's just something
I think
not
they should
right.
all be outfitted with the creepy British voice, like, "Mother, it is I, your daughter. I have returned.
There's just something.
I am here for you. I'm here for you, Mother. I've come from beyond. I'm not happy here, Mother. Mother,
Annabelle is a doll.
I'm not pleased at all."
Big. And Annabelle's like the size of a bread loaf. So but supposedly possessed by a demon.
By the way, you know how like there's that whole conceit of the evil English accent in American horror movies? Do you think there's the evil American accent in British horror movies? Ma, I'm here to kill your ass. What the fuck?
Right. In American movies,
in Australia, they don't know what
evil
to do.
Is British.
In New Zealand, in the Antipodes, they're just completely confused. They don't know who's the freaky accent. Maybe they have a weird French. They have the creepy accent is the Italian. That's a spicy murder.
In American movies, you're right. I didn't really think about it. Like the evil, dastardly, whatever demons or whatever, are always like British. They have a British accent.
The ultimate embodiment of this is Village of the Damned, where it's always like, "Mrs. Abernathy has been buggering the vicar. She's coming for you. We're displeased with you, Mother.
That's true. That's true.
I know what you've been doing with the postman. Mother, why have you touched him, the postman, in the dirty place?"
Well, no, Chucky was a possessed demon doll.
Yeah, and he's kind of like
American.
And his accent's kind of hokey, isn't it? If memory serves.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like a normal.
It's not a hillbilly accent.
Cartoony. Like I don't know.
It's kind of jaunty. Yeah.
Yeah. It's Chucky. Like
that's right.
Like, are you from Philadelphia? Like we're.
Chucky is just Danny DeVito.
Welcome to a Friday show. But yeah, so look, I'm going to say straight up, I mean, I don't follow, like I said, I only let the occult, like fangirl come out every October. So I'm just now reading about Dan Rivera, this paranormal activity researcher hunter.
All right, so what?
I do think that's creepy, Tad.
Let's cut to the chase here. The implication here is that he was killed by Annabelle, right?
Yes. Annabelle
Obviously, we need a full federal. Hereby call on President Trump.
Pam Bondi.
Take a break from blowing up fishermen.
Another boat got blown up just a couple hours ago, Ted. I don't know if you saw before we came on air.
Oh no.
A 10th one now.
Venezuela or Pacific?
Caribbean side.
Mm-hmm.
Caribbean side. So yes, a 10th one. So yes, take a break.
By the way, can you imagine, Manila? Did you hear about all the burned body parts washing up on the beach in Trinidad? And so can you imagine? I mean, that used to be until yesterday a tourist destination. I'm not going to fucking Trinidad. Hey, let's go swimming.
Let's go beach.
Yeah, like, hey, what's my little kid playing with there? Oh, that's a
floppy
head.
Arm. You're just like this arm is flopping around.
What?
Oh,
I can't believe
demonic possession.
Yeah, demonic possession.
I think we need. Look, if Kash Patel were best suited for anything, Ted, for any investigation.
Oh, I thought you meant you wanted Kash Patel to become the new guardian of Annabelle.
Ooh, that would be good too.
With his big googly eyes. I would actually be worried. I would be worried for Annabelle. I'd be worried that first of all
a staring contest.
Yeah, first of all he might creep her out, and I know she suffered enough, and also and also
if there's anybody suited
he's
guarding
so
her,
dumb and retarded that like she might lose her mind even more just from being around him.
If anybody's suited for guarding her, or at least if he's not going to play guard to Annabelle, Kash Patel,
custodian.
Not only fine, not custodian. If he doesn't want to do that, he's like, oh, that's beneath me. You know, like
I'm the Attorney General of the United States. Inexplicably, no one knows why.
No. Pam Bondi is the AG.
Oh, right.
He is the head of the FBI.
It's so hard to keep.
I want to investigate.
Yeah.
I think he should be the chief investigator of paranormal activity death.
Well, he has the eyes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Just like the paranormal would be like if every time they'd see him, he sees us.
Like right.
Of course, and he just looks like that. But whatever.
Into other dimensions, like with the the googly eyes going like this way and then that, like they wander. You don't know what dimension he's looking at.
I think he could win any Google off. I mean, do you think who has googlier eyes than Kash Patel? I mean, there's that one guy, Bernie something, who was in Bad Santa, that black guy. He has googly eyes. Oh,
he has big googly eyes.
Oh, no, Rodney Dangerfield had good googly eyes.
He had big googly eyes. Well, there's a black lady that's not super famous, but she's famous for the googly eyes because she can pop them out, like literally. She's like a heavier set black woman.
Really? She can control them?
She can control them, and she.
Oh, it's Bernie Mac, right? Is the guy?
Oh, Bernie Mac is long dead. Yeah, he's long dead too.
He had good googly eyes.
But yeah, there's like she's older now, but she's like a heavier set black woman that she could control. So when the internet started being the internet and social media started being,
all DMV workers have
she could do that,
regardless of their ethnicity.
Kash Patel, though, because he has both, he's FBI boss and has the weird googly eyes. He should be the chief paranormal investigator and not do the Epstein thing, and maybe give the Epstein stuff to somebody that's more qualified to do those things.
Well, I think we're never.
I think he's qualified for paranormal.
I think they've decided that basically the government is going to permanently stay shut down, and that we will never ever
for 3 more years. So we'll never. So at least in the next 3 years, we're not going to see the Epstein files. But Ted, what if I'm gonna put this out there? What if the Epstein files are somehow attached to paranormal activity from all the little girls that may have vanished on Epstein Island? Ooh, just putting it out there.
By the way, if the girls were on Epstein Island now, they'd probably be getting blown up by fucking Trump's drones.
It's very possible. They could be swimming away and getting blown up. All right, one more story for a fun Friday. This is the one. This is the one you found.
All right, here we go. It's a grave new ranking for New York. The Empire State is officially the most haunted state in America. Researchers from casino.ca, that's Canada, pinpointed the most common spots for phantom sightings by analyzing more than 1.8 million Ghosts of America records, a series of books and related websites for paranormal stories over the past century, plus reports from social media. New York racked up 160,198 spirit encounters, or 81 run-ins per 10,000 residents over the last 100 years. New York seems to have the perfect mix of history and atmosphere to keep spirits lingering, said data analyst Kat Rodriguez. It's not entirely surprising given the state's deep history and countless older buildings with stories of their own. The spookiest spot in the state is, by the way, I'm going to argue with this, is Manhattan's storied Morris-Jumel mansion, Built in 1765. No. And famous for being the borough's oldest house. No, but that's a lie. I have been there years ago. The Washington Heights property at 65 Jumel Terrace, now a museum, has hosted historic legends from George Washington and Aaron Burr to jazz music icon Duke Ellington, along with apparently a few guests who never left. Paranormal Investigations NYC founder and director Dom Villela didn't see any spirits during an hours-long mansion in October to the visit to the mansion in October 2009, but he said he felt them. First U.S. President George Washington was among the legends who once occupied the mansion. In my opinion, what you feel, he said, at the mansion is residual energy. It's not literally haunted. It's just replaying the energy of people who were there over time. Structures, especially old buildings, will absorb the energies of people who spend a lot of time there. And if the conditions are perfect, it will replay it, says Villela, who has investigated more than 1,000 buildings in Manhattan since 2003. The landmark has frequently been cited in paranormal cycles and is rumored by spirit seekers to house 5 distinct ghosts. Overall, nearly 1 in 4 Americans claim to have seen a ghost over the past century, with 1.84 million encounters nationwide, or 2,300 per 10,000 people. So roughly 1 out of 4 people. Texas is number 2 for spirit spottings, followed by Louisiana, California, and then Utah. Ghost run-ins were hauntingly less common north of the border. Yukon leads in Canada with 39 sightings, followed by BC, British Columbia, Ontario, and then Alberta.
Okay, wait. So Yukon. So are we to learn from this that the Canadians don't believe in ghosts, or that we're gonna go with the Canadians?
Drunk, man. They're just so drunk on beer and getting hit by hockey pucks. And fighting off bears, they can't see them.
Is that like so?
Also, the bears block the view of the ghosts and the moose.
Are ghosts scared of the giant creatures that are in?
I think the ghosts are like, fuck this bear, I'm out of here.
Or are the ghosts cold? Because why are the ghosts more? Why are there more sightings in? Look at Texas, Louisiana, California, Utah, warm climate. Well, parts of Utah, warm climate, right? But generally, warm climate. From those numbers, Ted, that tells me ghosts like warm temperatures.
That could be. Although there should be more ghosts in Mexico then.
Well,
and obviously they have the whole day. They have the whole Day of the Dead thing.
Well, yeah. Oh my God. So
Mexicans are way into it.
Mexicans are way into that. Like I love Dia de los Muertos, and like they have so many scary ghost stories growing up in LA. The Mexicans do. For example, La Llorona. She drowned her babies and then she killed herself. That's the story. And then she forever wanders the earth, Ted. She wanders the earth calling for her children that she killed. The Mexicans have a lot of stories. He's a happy cat.
The ghost cat is the most frightening of all animals.
So I think, I don't know why, but this is look, if Americans, and we discussed this yesterday, this is tangentially related to yesterday's show. If America, America, the US of A, was established as we know it by basically Anglo-Saxons that don't exist, established by them.
Mm-hmm.
Who founded Canada then? Are they Anglo-Saxons too?
Yeah.
I mean, if we're like if we're a country founded by Mayflower and British.
I mean, Canada was divided between the French and the British, so it was Anglo-Saxons and French people.
See, I'm just trying to understand, like, why, if 1 in 4 Americans say they've seen a ghost, I'm one of them, on many occasions. If 1 in 4, if this is a thing in America, why is it not a North American thing? Because I bet you the number is even higher. I bet you 50% of Mexicans, if you go poll Mexicans, I bet you 50%, not 1 in 4, 2 in 4 will say they've seen ghosts.
That's true.
Why not the Canadians? Like, why?
I don't know. So getting back to New York, I mean, I would say, well, I mean, it's true. I would say that one of the creepiest places in New York City was on Roosevelt Island. There was a crazy mental asylum there on what used to be Welfare Island, but they've pretty much destroyed most of it. Back in the day, you could like break in and walk around. I did it back in the 80s. And that was a cool, creepy place to explore. Now there's a luxury building called the Towers at 106th Street and Central Park West. And it went through a very dark and sordid history. It went through at various times. It was an insane asylum, home for the criminally insane. And then in the latter years, including in the 1970s, it was an old folks home. Well, right before it closed and then was abandoned for years and years, it was abandoned basically from the 1970s until about 20 years ago when they completely renovated it. And now it's super luxury housing for super rich people. Like the units go for millions of dollars each. But anyway, it's very, very Victorian and Gothic looking, as you can imagine, the Towers.
Those are creepy.
Anyway,
Victorian.
But the way that it closed was that as an old folks home, its last iteration before its present yuppie thing is the old folks were dying, but their Social Security checks kept coming in. And so, because the Social Security checks would go to the old folks home to cover their costs, right?
Yeah,
and they would cash them for the old folks. Well, many of whom had, were demented or whatever. Sure. So it occurred to the ownership, maybe we don't have to report the deaths of these people and we can keep cashing their checks. And so they started dragging fraud. So they started dragging the corpses across the street into Central Park and burying them. And so they were doing that.
Wait, that's real?
Oh yeah, that's real. And so that went on for years. And there were hundreds of corpses buried in Central Park that way, illicitly. And
oh my God.
And then ultimately it came to light. The city, looked askance at this practice. They were like, this is rude.
Rude?
So they were closed.
So these are like the old people that like their loved ones had forgotten. And
exactly. No one, so there was no death certificate. So Uncle Sam kept sending in the checks. It was a beautiful thing until it wasn't.
Which was early on in the Trump, after the Trump inauguration, where they showed that there were, old folks still on payroll, that are 104 years old, 115. Maybe it's some of those people that were buried at Central Park 50 years ago. 137.
That's what it is. 150-year-old people. That's exactly right.
There wasn't many of these people, obviously, but if you look at that story when the Trump people came out with it, like in January or February, when they were saying like they're purging, there's dead people, cashing in on Social Security. One guy, 157 years old,
Yep.
Maybe that's
that's the explanation.
Like, not many, but there were like from around the country. It was like
I think honestly, I think this has been a recurring thing.
People, but it's been ongoing. Yeah,
old folks' homes are like, hey, we can work this system.
Because they know, right? Like if you're an old person that nobody
ever comes to visit, right? Because you sign in to visit your loved one, or in that case, your unloved one.
That's so sad. And so, what the old folks then just haunt that facility?
Well, so I would think, considering that it was a hospital for the mentally ill, I would think that, like, can you imagine? It was a Victorian fucking era insane asylum. Can you imagine the level of abuse and misery rape, everything.
Look, famously, in the West Coast, right? We have, I don't know if we're still home to the Queen Mary. I thought they were trying to move Queen Mary out of a big ship, right? The Queen Mary. She was housed. She was at the port of Long Beach forever. You could go take tours, and in fact, in the 90s, when I was in high school, one of our high school proms was held in the Queen Mary, right? Super cool.
That's cool.
Which we thought. However, there's always been, and all the locals know this, and this is pre-internet, obviously, so we knew this, that the Queen Mary, her history was that she was a World War II era medical ship. Okay. So there were dying sailors and soldiers in there, and, like bloody arms, just lobbed off, legs blown off. Just awesome. So it was a medical ship once upon a time. And now it's just like a historical ship that's just parked, just docked. So we had our high school prom there one year, and this may come as a surprise to you, Ted, but I told some of the other kids some of the stories that I'd heard. And I may or may not have led a small group of friends into an area that we weren't supposed to go to, which was the pool, the swimming area, right? There's like there's a pool. Because I had heard that at night, a weird fog comes over the pool and you'll see the water start swooshing inside the pool of the Queen, inside, deep in the belly of the Queen Mary. And so we made, a couple of us teenagers, imagine that,
Queen
Ted.
Mary been deaccessioned or demolished or something by now?
No, I don't think she's demolished. I think she's like a historical something, and I don't know.
Or they turned her into a hotel or something, didn't they?
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't kept up. But this is in the 90s, and me and a couple of my friends snuck down to where we're not supposed to be, and sure enough, Ted, it didn't splash, but we just waited, and we're staring at the pool, and the water started kind of rippling. And we're a bunch of teenagers, right? So we're like, ah! Running back up. We're in dresses and tuxes, and we're like, ah! But fast forward several years to where YouTube becomes a thing, and people are like, now people are putting up grainy home videos that, I took a tour of the Queen Mary. And so I've seen these, and I'm like, oh my God, that's exactly what we saw. So we saw it. So I can't say I saw a ghost in the Queen Mary, but we saw unusual things that were rumored wives' tales for locals in California at the time, pre-internet. We saw those very things happen. A handful of us from my high school, we saw it. We believe firmly that the Queen Mary is indeed a haunted ghost ship. 100%. There's people that have seen other weird things. People have seen bloodied soldiers walking through the halls. People have seen like creepy, like children, all kinds of stuff. But I didn't see that. I saw a giant pool inside a giant ship should not be sloshing around. And that was enough for us to be like, ah!
But so water rippling could be caused by all sorts of mechanical, completely scientific reasons that are easy to, would take 5 seconds to think of, right?
I don't know, but people have reported seeing like the sploosh of like if somebody were to dive into a pool. We didn't see that, but people have reported seeing that at the Queen Mary, and there's no body jumping into the pool, but it's a sploosh, like, and some people have it on video. There's like water, like the ripples of. So I don't know. I didn't see it. It wasn't that dramatic as my memory serves, but it was enough for me to go, oh my God, why is the water swishing around like that? I don't know.
A little swishy water is not going to freak me out.
It freaked out a bunch of high school seniors.
Saying. All right. Well,
So anyway, so next week, Halloween, if you guys know scary stories, please send it to us. We're going to send you off with a happy well-wishing for the weekend, but this is where you send it to us. TMI show question at yahoo.com. Your questions, your comments, or spooky stories, because this is the only time, this Friday and next Friday. And then I promise I'll put it away until next year. But I put away I only allow myself just the last half of October to let the occult run wild in my head. It's fun, Ted. You should join us.
Always.
Join.
Come, Manila. Come to play with us.
Come
forever. Oh, yeah. Another English example of the creepy English accent is The Shining. It's not explained, but the two creepy twins, right? Come and play with us forever. I think they talk. I'm not sure. Maybe they don't. Maybe they just hold hands and look creepy with the blood.
Yeah,
the blood
wall.
elevator. But also there's there's the devil bartender in The Shining.
Yeah, but was he British? I don't remember.
Yeah. He's like, you have a problem, Mr. Torrance. There is a cook, an N-word cook. He's interfering with us.
There is that very weird, not British, but like not, I don't know. I want to say like Maine, Rhode Island. Like you can find little pockets of people from that area that have that very strange, not quite New England, but not quite British accent. Could it be that we heard? It's a very strange, like it's a very small niche group of people, but it's almost ugly South Boston and almost like manky, like Manchester manky sounding. It's a kind of a cross between the two. I've heard people speak like that in present day that are from that region, like Maine, Rhode Island. Like it's a strange accent that I can't quite pinpoint. It's almost British, but not.
There's that Nicole Kidman movie, The Others. Yeah, and she has like this crazy British accent too.
She's Aussie though.
Yeah, but that's not the same accent at all, you know?
So I don't remember her doing an accent. I don't know, but that movie was good too. So anyway. That's it, everybody.
The others are here.
Well, yeah. Well, look, England has been around for, I don't know, thousands of years. America's 250 years old. They have way more history. They have shit like Jack the Ripper, right? Like they have centuries and centuries and centuries of doing weird shit, you know, knights and queens and like the medieval times. So they have a lot more mythology and lore. Our mythology and lore, I would say, comes from like the wild, wild west. At least in California, that's all the scary stuff. But yeah, we have a lot of Western lore, obviously.
Oh, we do.
California.
Of course.
So yeah, but the Brits, hundreds and hundreds of years. So that's why they have all the good scary stuff. And maybe that's why all the scary demonic possessions, Ted. The British!
Manila, it is time to end the show. Manila, it is time for you to end everything for the weekend. Because it is Friday.
End it all.
End it all, Manila. Everything must end.
Well, I wish I had a thunder like sound instead of a.
Yeah, the gong does not have the same creepy. They're very, there's those horror movies that tried to use the gong to horrific effect, just never really, took off. Or the quack.
I don't have that. No.
Or the meow. Not that many. Not
scary.
Many creepy like meow.
It's just not scary.
No, not really.
It's just not scary. All right. Have a good weekend, everybody. I hope you guys found that creepy and interesting. We'll see you on.
I found it interesting
Monday.
for sure.
Yeah, it's weird stories. It's a fun Friday. Adios, amigos.
Bye, everyone. See you Monday.
Thank you.
Bye.